Miranda Devine is on with us. She is the author of the book Laptop from Hell, came out, I think, about a year ago. She's the New York Post columnist and has been neck deep in this, I don't want to say in Hunter Biden, but in Hunter Biden's stories. And she's been essential in exposing a lot of the things that were on the laptop. She joins us now. Miranda, are you there?
Good day. Hello. Hi, Glenn. Great to be with you.
Hi. Yeah. So, Miranda, you had the actual laptop, right?
Yes. Well, the hard drive, which is
the hard drive, yes.
Complete replica of the laptop.
Okay. So how did, I have a friend, Peter Schweizer, who is got a team of people, and they're very, very good. I know you're very, very good. How did we not see the email that says, I'm sitting here on the couch with my dad, and we want our money, China?
Well, the beauty of that, it's actually not an email, it's a WhatsApp message, which is an encrypted app, and none of that appears on the laptop. That WhatsApp message was retrieved by the IRS criminal investigators through a subpoena to Apple for Hunter Biden's iCloud. The beauty of that is that, the laptop the FBI they authenticated, can you believe it, every single piece on it that it was reliable evidence and hadn't been tampered with and was real. They'd authenticate it by as early as February of 2020, but they refused to give it to the IRS investigators. And, as Gary Shapley, the whistleblower, said in his testimony that was released on Friday, he said, we needed to know, we're looking at how much money Hunter Biden didn't pay in tax. We need to know about that email, about 10% for the big guy. We need to know who's the big guy, where'd that money go, because otherwise we will count that 10% and make Hunter Biden pay tax for it. So they asked several times for the Department of Justice, for their prosecutors. They said, we need the laptop, and they were refused. But they managed to get a lot of the material that's on the laptop through this subpoena for Hunter Biden's iCloud. So that's another way that you can prove that what's in the laptop is legitimate, because there's a lot of overlap. But, of course, they got a lot of things that aren't on the laptop that were deleted or never preserved.
How much money do you think, and do we have a reasonable idea of how much money the Bidens have made through these kinds of things?
Well, look, we have for the first time a definitive number that the second IRS whistleblower, who was the lead case agent on that 5-year investigation into Hunter Biden's taxes, he's given in his testimony a figure. Now, I think it was $18.2 million. I could be out by, a few $100,000 there. But it's in that ballpark, say $18 to $19 million that came in from foreign sources into the sort of Hunter Biden, Jim Biden, Devon Archer, his various partners in crime or, in business. And then out of that, there was about $9 million, a little over $9 million, went directly to Hunter Biden. So he got about half the cut. Whether or not 10% went to the big guy, a.k.a. Joe Biden, has yet to be determined. But we know that Hunter got $9 million, and he underpaid his taxes over that period significantly. Now, we know that Kevin Morris, Hunter Biden's sugar brother from California, the Hollywood lawyer, he befriended Hunter Biden and was terribly generous to him, paid back $2.8 million in unpaid taxes last year.
Terribly generous.
Terribly generous.
Yeah, that's one nice. Oh, it's charity. I was just doing it for a friend. I write, tens of millions of dollars of checks for friends, and I never expect to have them do anything for me. Oh, by the way, I'm going to be talking from the press secretary, their podium there at the White House, talking some business later to the press. I mean, it wasn't the goodness of his heart. Is anybody investigating him?
Well, look, so the tax investigators did not treat that money that Kevin Morris paid as a gift, which would itself have been taxable for Hunter Biden, because Hunter Biden said it was a loan. So presumably Hunter Biden will repay Kevin Morris with the money he gets from the work he does now as an artist.
So, Miranda, I mean, what's so crazy, he says it's a loan. That's what he said about the money he was paid from Burisma when they put the money into Rosemont Seneca. He didn't pay any taxes because he said it was a loan and then just never paid it back.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, and it's just what these IRS guys who've been doing this for, a quarter of a century between them, they say this is textbook tax evasion. When you get paid, you put it into another company, you say it's a loan. You can't give yourself a loan that you never pay back. So they obviously wanted to charge that as tax evasion, but that was in 2014, 2015, when Hunter Biden was living in Washington, D.C. And turns out David Weiss, the U.S. Attorney for Delaware, who was given all of the Hunter Biden investigations that came in from all around the country for some reason by Bill Barr, they all went to Delaware. And David Weiss, just asked nicely of the Washington, D.C. U.S. Attorney who'd been appointed by Joe Biden, could I please lay some charges against Hunter Biden in your jurisdiction? And surprise, surprise, U.S. Attorney in Washington, D.C., Matthew Graves, said, no, you can't. Same thing happened in the Central District of California for the later years, where Hunter Biden had been living in Malibu and Venice Beach. And no, you can't do it, another Biden appointee. And David Weiss just meekly accepts that, and then the statute of limitations run out on those, which were the biggest part of the charges, the most serious for Hunter Biden, and also encompassed Foreign Agent Registration Act violation. So, in other words, foreign lobbying. There was evidence of that all over the laptop. And we could never understand why on earth weren't those charges brought. Now we know from the whistleblowers it's because the Department of Justice allowed the statute of limitations to run out, because David Weiss said, oh, well, we can't bring charges because these U.S. attorneys who were appointed by Biden won't let us. And so last October, when Gary Shapley, the IRS whistleblower, and his crack team, they're like the SEAL team of the IRS. They are the ones who go, he's collected $2.5 billion of taxes on behalf of the American taxpayer from all over the world, actually, in his career. So he is the number one. He's the GOAT of IRS investigators, and he's had this meeting in October with Weiss and said, why on earth did you let the statute of limitations run out? And Weiss says, well, I went to the Department of Justice and I asked if I could be made special counsel so that I could bring charges in those jurisdictions, and they refused me. Well, now Merrick Garland has come out and said that's not true, that the only person who can make Weiss a special counsel is me, and he never asked. And so someone's lying, and that the Republicans need to haul them in.
I will tell you, my best guess is they're probably both lying to some degree or another.
Yeah.
But let me ask you, I've got about 30 seconds. You have been on this story for years. I mean, you were at the Post when the laptop was, Russian disinformation, and they banned the Post from, any social media. Do you think we're at a turning point, or is this more of the same that's not going to amount to anything or anybody going to jail?
I think that the Gary Shapley's testimony and his partner is a game changer, because they brought evidence that is separate from the laptop and is not just hearsay or one person's word against Joe Biden's. This is evidence, transcripts of interviews with Hunter Biden's former business partners, memorialized conversations with 6 witnesses between Gary Shapley and, David White and DOJ prosecutors or, district attorneys who were obstructing. So I think there is clear evidence of malfeasance by the Department of Justice, involvement of the highest level of the FBI. And, there's 2 parts of this story. There's the original corruption story, but I think, as with Watergate, the biggest story is the cover-up. And Gary Shapley has laid bare the cover-up, and you can see them now. They are going to try and destroy him, destroy his reputation.
Right. Miranda, thank you so much for everything you've done over the years on this story. I appreciate it. Keep it up. Miranda Devine, author of Laptop from Hell and a columnist for the New York Post.